Millions of South Africans have already applied for the Social Relief of Distress grant. It's a reminder of the desperate levels of poverty and unemployment in this country, which have been compounded by the Covid-19 lockdown. The country's Social Security Agency will start to pay out the 350 Rand grant to people with no other income as well as caregivers. That's at the end of this month. SASSA spokesperson Paseka Letsatsi joins us live now for an update. Mr. Letsatsi, good to speak to you. Thank you for your time. So the last update that I saw had put the number of people who'd already applied at over 5 million. Where does the number of applications stand now?
Good morning, Thembi, and thanks for having us. The number as of today was sitting at 6 million people that we have accepted the application using various channels like your WhatsApp, the website, and the GovChat platforms. So as we speak now, we have about 6 million applications that we have accepted.
And how many approved?
We are in the process of doing that, Thembi. Remember, we're trying to make sure that at least we do the first payment by month end. We should be able to communicate with the applicants very soon to say whether their application has been approved or not. Because remember what we do, we basically share the information with other sister departments like Home Affairs, SARS, UIF, NSFAS, and so on, just to check if you do not appear or you're not benefiting from those particular agencies.
And what does that mean? Pardon me for cutting you off, sir. What does that mean for the turnaround time? How quickly are you able to notify a person of whether they've been approved?
It's not for the first time we're doing this, Thembi. Remember, we did this process last year. So the systems are there to talk to each other quickly as we make an application, because we have set ourselves a deadline of month end. So by month end, we must not be talking with the sister department. We must be making the payment. So as we speak now, the process of verification is taking place, and that process is very fast. We're trying to make sure by next week we start communicating with the applicants.
And I remember a time when you first paid out this grant, this was last year, there was an issue where people said they had gone to either the post office or whatever collection point they were using, only to find out that they had not actually received either a payment date or weren't on a list. How have you fine-tuned that aspect ahead of the end of the month?
There are two options which we have been trying to communicate to people. One, we said we are appealing to the applicants that when you put your application through, please make sure that you give us your bank account. You do not necessarily have to go and queue at the post office. But secondly, we also know that post office is engaging other merchants to make sure that we do not necessarily have the snakes at the queue when people are supposed to come and get a payment. But one other thing that we also tell people is that don't go to post office if you don't have an SMS which says the application has been approved. Wait for that SMS, then you go to the post office. But the systems which we have set in place now was to request people to give us their bank account if they have. In case they don't have, we know that the post office is busy working with the merchants. They are supposed to have signed the agreement very soon to make sure that people do not go to the post office, but they are able to go to those merchants.
And have the issues that you had in the week with the application portal itself, where it was either slow, some people saying, no, it actually crashed, has all of that been addressed and boosted so that it doesn't see a repeat of all of that?
It has been addressed at the beginning. I think I must just mention the fact that it did not crash, but it became slow. And the reason is because I would give you the figure. We were experiencing 5,000 applications per minute. And that particular process clogged the system and make it to be very slow. But the good news is that the WhatsApp line is now functional. People are able to use it. That is why from the 6th to the 15th, it's only 9 days and we have about 6 million applications that we have accepted as an organization.
And I'm not sure if you're able to work this out as yet, but as things stand, do you know, based on the capacity that you have for what's been approved to be paid out, what it is as far as a figure, the number of people who you are likely going to be able to make payments to come the end of August?
Look, I think you are quite right, Thembi. It will be very difficult for me to understand that. But if you can just give us time for this week to make those particular processes, to agree and understand those who have managed to approve, and those who were not approved, we'll definitely make sure that we communicate with you, but also to the public, and even those who applied, we would then engage them and be able to tell them that their application was not successful, and definitely will give the reason why the application was not successful and so on. But I would just want to appeal to you that give us that particular time to make sure that we crunch the numbers, we know that what is happening has been approved and so on, and we'll definitely come back to you, Thembi, and have that engagement with you.
I suppose also key then to the data that you're going to have to at least collate or try to make sense of is just perhaps, I don't know if you're looking into it, looking at the number of new applicants versus people who even a year later into the pandemic have still not been able to find any other form of income. Will you be doing that sort of data analysis?
No, we do. This process, Thembi, has taught us many lessons. At least we know that people applied, but the reason why we said people must apply from scratch is because this is the new process. But secondly, conditions of people change. Like we're at level 5. When at level 5, we know that salons were closed, for an example, and someone who had said a salon would not have a form of an income. Salons are opened now. People are able to go to work and get paid. So some of those people will fall off because we do monthly verification processes to make sure that people's situation is still the same with their checks. So we have to do that to make sure that we continuously check people. We need to make sure that our data is such that it's accurate. Because the intention, Thembi, here is to make sure that the money goes to people who need it most. We don't take money to people who have money or who have got another form of source of income and so on. That's the intention of what we're doing.
Paseka Letsatsi, spokesperson for the South African Social Security Agency. Always good to speak to you, sir. Thank you.
Pleasure.